What's going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with The Distance. I'm back. Had surgery last week on my jaw, so I've been out for a while, dealing with swelling and all that stuff. So I decided to come back today. I initially intended to come back on Thursday, but I decided to come back today. I thought the timing was right. It was right for me to come back today because it's a matchup I've been thinking about a whole lot lately. And I've been very back and forth, and I thought, I might as well put my prediction out there before I kind of change my mind, because there's just so many thoughts and output and input in this fight. But this matchup is Kelly Pavlik versus Sergio Martinez for the WBC Ring Magazine Middleweight Championship. This puts together Sergio Martinez, who's the WBC Light Middleweight Champion, and the Middleweight Champion, of course, Kelly Pavlik. Kelly Pavlik, we all know, won the middleweight championship in September 2007 when he got off the canvas in the second round and knocked out Jermaine Taylor, who's considered the top dog at middleweight. Defeated Bernard Hopkins twice, though the first fight you can debate. I did think Taylor won the first fight, but this is even a video about Jermaine Taylor. But Jermaine Taylor was the man at 160 pounds, and Pavlik got off the canvas and he walked him down, knocked him out. So that's really Kelly Pavlik's claim to fame. That and the Edson Miranda fight. He pretty much as a contender was putting together some very solid fights and very good knockouts. So ever since he became the champion, he had that mandatory fight with Jermaine Taylor at 166. He looked decent in that fight, and then he fought Gary Lockett, who I guess was a mandatory, and on HBO in June 2008, and then he fought Bernard Hopkins, and we all know what happened with that fight, which was at 170. So he fought Bernard Hopkins, and then he moved back down to 160. Fought Marco Antonio Rubio, had a pretty good showing, and fought Miguel Espino back in December. Had a knockout in like the 5th round. So now I believe this is going to be the best. Other than Bernard Hopkins and Jermaine Taylor, I think Sergio Martinez is going to be one of the best opponents that Kelly Pavlik has faced. Sergio Martinez pretty much became the WBC light middleweight champion in 2008 when Vernon Forrest got injured before he had died, but they kind of promoted him as actual champion when he got hurt after the Sergio Mora fight. So Sergio Martinez has been around for a while. He's facing quality opposition. Just had a shootout with Paul Williams. Had a very close fight with him. I had a draw. If you look at my past video, a lot of people underestimated Sergio Martinez in that fight, including myself, because you could look at his past record, and the loss to Margarito somewhat stands out. But at the same time has went by since that fight, and Sergio Martinez matured more and developed himself more as a fighter leading up to that fight. So pretty much Sergio Martinez once again in 2009, he had the fight with Kermit Cintron, who he beat. He had the fight taken away from him, won the fight practically twice, but on the scorecard they gave it a draw. They had a draw. And Paul Williams, another really good fight for him. Another great showing, amazing showing against a guy who's considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, who I believe was at number 8 on the pound-for-pound rankings at that time. I think he still is number 8. But Sergio Martinez had a very good showing against him, and pretty much opened up a lot of eyes in that fight. So against Kelly Pavlik, what are Sergio Martinez's keys to victory? Well, we saw in the Hopkins fight that Hopkins pretty much continued to tie him up. Every time that Hopkins got his shots off. But at the same time, in the Taylor fight, we saw Jermaine Taylor put together very good combinations. In this fight against Kelly Pavlik is a fighter who stands upright and kind of trots forward and trots backward. So I do think that Sergio Martinez does need to put together combinations. And I think that being a southpaw and having kind of a slick style to him, being able to evade shots, I do believe that Sergio Martinez could give him a lot of trouble being the the somewhat slick fighter that he is. So if he can put together combinations, duck under Pavlik's shots, because at times when Pavlik gets hit, the Pavlik turns around and he throws back. After he gets hit, that's just the type of style that Pavlik is. He's kind of he comes forward and he puts his punches together. He pretty much lands a lot of straight shots. And Pavlik, I guess being the naturally bigger fighter, he does want to stay away from those power shots of Pavlik. He does. I do think that Martinez needs to circle around both sides, because he does have a tendency to circle around one side. So I do think that putting together combinations, counter shots, because there's going to be counter opportunities with Kelly Pavlik, who throws a lot of punches, who throws at least 83 punches per round, 20 less than Paul Williams. But I do think that Sergio Martinez pretty much needs to stay busy. He needs to get his shots off first against Kelly Pavlik, and he pretty much needs to move away from him. He preferably needs to move to his right side. I think constant movement to the right side. And also against Kelly Pavlik, he does want to keep his hands up. He wants to keep his hands up because Kelly Pavlik has one punch knockout power. So anyway, that's really what Sergio Martinez needs to do in this fight. Kelly Pavlik in this fight against a fighter who's going to circle around, he does need to cut off the ring. Kelly Pavlik, being the bigger fighter, he does need to take that big step to maybe the left or right side, whatever side Sergio Martinez is circling to, and needs to get his shots off by cutting off the ring, taking that big step over, and getting the shots off. If Pavlik can pretty much stay within range, he could take this fight. He could actually knock out Martinez, in my opinion, because one, Sergio Martinez does, as I mentioned, keep his hands down at times, and sometimes it's to suck you in and counter you, or suck you in so he can throw that southpaw jab or flicker the southpaw jab out. So really, Kelly Pavlik, needs to keep the hands up. He needs to fight a focused fight. But honestly, with Kelly Pavlik, I think the biggest concern though with Kelly Pavlik is a lot of people wonder, is he the same fighter as he was before he stepped in the ring against Bernard Hopkins October 18, 2008? A lot of people wonder if he's the same fighter, if he's the same guy that went in the ring with Jermaine Taylor a year previously and knocked him out in like the 7th, 8th round. And Kelly Pavlik in this fight needs to have that killer instinct. I think the killer instinct needs to be shown by Kelly Pavlik in this fight. He needs to come forward. We did see Martinez kind of tire out against Williams. He needs to put together a lot of power shots to the body, because if he puts together some power shots to the body, then it will wear Martinez down. So in the later rounds, it will make him a bit vulnerable to Pavlik's shots, and Pavlik can get the knockout. A lot of people wrote off Sergio Martinez in his last fight against Paul Williams. And to be quite honest, if there wasn't that one card that said 119, 110, or whatever, then more than likely, if every scorecard was close, we might not even be talking about this fight right now, possibly. And a lot of people are saying Sergio Martinez is going to win, because he's a slick fighter. He gave Paul Williams trouble, and a lot of people, and like I said, a lot of people wrote him off in this fight. And right now I'm going to say I think Sergio Martinez can get this victory. I think Sergio Martinez could win a very close fight, very close split decision fight. But at the same time, for some reason, because I've been weighing in both sides, I think Pavlik can get the knockout as well. I like Pavlik by knockout as well in the 11th round. But my official prediction, I'm going to go with Kelly Pavlik by knockout in the 11th round. It's a ballsy pick. I want to go with Kelly Pavlik by knockout in the 11th round. A lot of people are forgetting that Kelly Pavlik throws a lot of shots, and compared to Williams, his shots are more powerful. So I want to go with, like I said, I changed it a couple times, but I'm going with Kelly Pavlik, 11th round knockout. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.